let's start with Billy Lynn's character. How did you work in order to portray this war hero who doesn't want to be a hero? I think in the core, you just want to be a normal guy, split between family and his job he's doing in some way. How did you work in order to find the balance?
Yeah, completely. I think you're right. Like, firstly, I think one of the things that the film does so brilliantly is it contrasts the reality of what's happened over there and what they've done, and then the perception of that back home and how people back home are trying to use them and have some part of their story and have some part of them which they don't feel comfortable with. And he doesn't feel like a hero for what he's done, but he's constantly told he's a hero. And I mean, in terms of preparing for it?
Yeah.
Lots of different things. I mean, it was great that I had a book there and a source material to go back to. We did 2 weeks boot camp together as the boys. We did that for 2 weeks. I spoke to Ang a lot. I thought about it a lot, and I just had to jump in.
What I got from the movie is that sometimes war affects much more lower classes, young soldier with no future other than going to the army. What do you think about these wars in a way, just like an industry, taking advantage of, in some way, lower classes?
Lower classes in what sense?
Poor guys, poor areas, this guy's from Texas, he has maybe no future, his family is kind of difficult.
Yeah. Well, I think it really humanizes the soldiers, and I don't see it just as poor guys or lower class people, because I think once they are there in that environment, they could be from any walk of life, but as a group, those classes just disappear. There's like a brotherhood amongst them. They're a group of soldiers who have to bond together and have implicit trust in each other, and anything kind of back home disappears in that environment.
Which has been for you the most challenging scene to shoot in this movie in an emotional way?
There were lots of there's lots of like intense emotional scenes in it, I think, and different ones for different reasons. There's a hand-to-hand combat scene which was very hard to shoot and took a long time at the end of a very, very long day, and was very physical and very emotional. But then also some of the quieter, more intimate scenes between Billy and his sister. There's a scene on the porch and there's a scene by a car at the end, and they're a lot quieter, but they also require a depth to them that isn't easy to reach and that you have to kind of give your all for.
What would you like the audience will take away watching Billy Lynn?
I think it works on more than one level, and I think on one hand, whilst there's a wider political and social commentary, and it doesn't force answers or it doesn't force opinions down their throat. It kind of lets you draw your own conclusions, but it doesn't just speak on a political level about the war and about the treatment of soldiers back home and the perception of them by the public and the propaganda back home. Within all that, there's also a very human story, and it's about a pretty normal boy who's thrown into this whirlwind situation, and he's trying to figure out how to deal with it and figure out who he is in it all and where he belongs. And it's a coming of age story, and I think that's a very human thing, and I hope people can latch onto that as a heart within this bigger framework.